This is a Psych Talk by Autumn Brott. Have you ever felt left out, like you didn't belong? Most of us have, especially during the teenage years. Our brains are changing rapidly during this time. And new research shows that feeling accepted or rejected by peers can actually affect how our brains grow. In a fascinating study led by Dina Raufelder and her colleagues, Anne Beck, Robert Lorenz, and Nicola Neumann, they set out to understand exactly how social exclusion impacts the teenage brain. The researchers recruited a large group of teenagers and used MRI scans to observe their brains while they experienced social inclusion and exclusion in a controlled setting. This approach allowed them to see which areas of the brain were most affected in real time, a major strength of the study. When it comes to the participants, there are both strengths and weaknesses to consider. On the strength side, the study included 71 adolescent students, 37 female and 34 male, making the gender ratio well balanced, which strengthens the data and helps ensure that findings aren't skewed by gender. However, there are several important weaknesses. All participants were white, which reduces the diversity and inclusivity of the data. Additionally, every student was from Brandenburg, Germany, so the group lacked geographic diversity as well. Socioeconomic status and migrant status were not recorded due to German consent laws, leaving out crucial information about the backgrounds of the participants. These missing details limit how much we can generalize the findings to other groups of teens. Still, Raufelder and her team's work gives us important clues about why belonging matters so much during adolescence and what happens in the brain when we feel left out. Researchers wanted to understand how the experience of being excluded affects the way teenagers' brains develop. To do this, Raufelder, Neumann, Domin, Lorenz, and Gleich used two main tools: questionnaires and brain scans. Over 200 teenagers participated in the study, but only 71 participants' data was used. First, they answered questionnaires about their experiences with social exclusion, like being left out of activities or groups. Then, their brains were scanned using a special technique called magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. MRI scans allowed Raufelder, Neumann, Domin, Lorenz, and Gleich to see detailed images of the teenagers' brains and measure changes in brain structure over time. This combination of questionnaires and brain scans helped Raufelder, Neumann, Domin, Lorenz, and Gleich understand the link between social experiences and brain development in teenagers. The study found that teenagers who felt frequently excluded showed different patterns of brain development compared to those who felt accepted. Specifically, the researchers looked at changes in grey matter, which is the part of the brain involved in thinking, decision-making, and emotions. They discovered that teenagers who experienced more social exclusion had a significant effect in the left AI when using small volume correction with a composite mask. The cluster included parts of the left posterior insula and extended to the left temporal pole. While a decrease in grey matter during adolescence is normal and reflects important brain maturation processes, the study suggests that experiencing social exclusion might interfere with this natural pruning process. This finding is significant because it suggests that being excluded could have lasting impacts on how teenagers' brains develop and function. Section 4. Building better belonging. What this means and how we can do better. So this research highlights just how important it is for teenagers to feel a sense of belonging, especially in school. When young people feel accepted and supported, their brains can develop in healthy ways, allowing them to thrive both academically and emotionally. However, if teenagers are frequently excluded, it can have a negative impact on their brain development, potentially leading to challenges with emotional regulation, social skills, and mental well-being. While this study provides valuable insights, it's important to remember that it does have some limitations. For instance, the participants were from similar backgrounds, and the study didn't fully capture the wide range of experiences of exclusion. Future studies could definitely benefit from including a more diverse group of teenagers and exploring the impact of different types of exclusion. To create more inclusive environments for all young people, schools can focus on fostering positive peer relationships and providing support for students who are struggling socially. By understanding the powerful connection between belonging and brain development, we can work together to create schools where all teenagers feel safe, valued, and empowered to reach their full potential.